Good morning, students. Welcome to High Voltage Engineering tutorial. So today we will see the solution for sheet 1. So if you see the first question, what are the advantages of high voltage application in electrical power system? So as you know, high voltage is used mainly for transmission in power system. So when we use high voltage, the size of the conductor will reduces. Why? Because when voltage will be high, the current will be low. Why? Because the power will be constant. So when current reduces, so the current carrying capacity of the conductors will reduce. I mean, we need not to use very big conductors whose diameter is more to carry more current. So if the current is less, the size of the conductor will be less. And in addition to that, when the current reduces, so obviously the losses will reduce and efficiency also will increase, and the voltage regulation also improves, and the construction cost of the towers also reduce. Why? Because the volume of the conductor required is reduces, and obviously because of all this, stability of the system will increases. But some disadvantages also there. So there will be increase in the cost of the support structures, and there should be more clearance between the conductors, and we need very long cross arms for the towers, and insulation problems also will be there. But when you compare advantages with the disadvantages, the advantages are more. So we are using the high voltage in electrical power system. So for a better explanation, you can refer to your theory lectures. And coming to the second question, what are the different HV testing voltages that are used in the high voltage laboratories? So as you know, we have high voltage AC and high voltage DC, and high voltage AC will be at power frequency and high frequency, and impulse voltages of short duration and impulse voltage of long duration. So this type of testing voltages are used in high voltage laboratories. And for better explanation, you can go through your theory lectures. And coming to the third question, why must the voltage to a specimen be varied smoothly? See, whenever we are applying some voltage to a testing object, we should not apply suddenly. We have to apply gradually. Why? Because if you apply suddenly, a sudden rise in current will be there. So there may be a chance of damage. So we will use some regulators to apply the voltage smoothly. So now coming to the fourth question, an induction regulator transformer is implemented to feed HV transformer. The secondary winding of this regulator is out of phase with the primary by 30 degrees. If the input voltage to the regulator is 110 volt, calculate the output voltage of this induction regulator, and for variable phase shift, what will be the maximum output of this regulator? So this is a very simple question. So if you see the solution of this, so this is our induction regulator. So here the relation between output of the regulator and input is related with this 1 plus cos theta. So V output will be equal to V input multiplied by 1 plus cosine theta. So in this case, the input voltage is given as 110 volts, and this theta, this phase shift angle is given as 30 degrees. So if we calculate this, we will get 205.26 volts. And when will be this maximum? See here, this is related, input and output are related with cosine. So as per from the mathematical expressions, we know that cosine will be maximum when the theta is 0. Why? Because cosine 0 is 1, and it will be minimum, that is 0, when the theta will be 90. So this will vary from, when the theta varies from 0 to 90 degrees, this output will also vary from minimum to maximum. So the case of maximum will get when the theta will be 0. So when theta is 0, cosine theta, that is cosine 0, will be 1. So 1 plus 1, 2, 2 multiplied by V input, means we can get maximum of 2 times of input voltage, that is 220 volts. Now coming to the next question. Fifth one, we have a testing transformer used to test an insulator with the following specification. Insulator capacitance 150 picofarad, insulator voltage level is 132 kV, supply frequency is 50 Hz, and transformer capacity factor is 1.15. Determine the nominal kVA rating of the transformer. So here, if you see the solution for the fifth one, so it is a simple one. So actually the nominal kVA ratio is calculated as K multiplied by omega C V square. So here the value of K constant is given as 1.15. Omega we will calculate as 2 pi f. Frequency is given as 50, and the capacitor value is given as 150 multiplied by 10 power minus 12, and voltage is given as 132 kV. So 132 kV means kilo 10 power 3. You have to square it. So if you calculate this, you will get 944.24 VA. If you want to convert this into kVA, it will be 0.944 kilovolt amperes. Now going to the next one, a 100 kVA 250 volt by 200 kV feeder transformer has a resistance and reactance of 1% and 5% respectively. This transformer is used to test cable at 400 kV at 50 Hz. The cable takes a charging current of 0.5 ampere at 400 kV. Determine the series inductance required. Assume 1% resistance of the inductor also. Also determine the input voltage of the transformer. So now see here, if we see this transformer winding will have its own resistance and inductance, and some resistance and inductance is connected in series, and the cable tested here is having a voltage of 400 kV, and the current flowing here is 0.5 amperes. See why we consider this testing object as a capacitor. So when we are testing here, it will act as insulator. So current will not flow. So current will flow after charging. So we can consider any testing object as a capacitor. So here, first we have to calculate what is the Z base, that is impedance base. So this, why we will calculate this base value, we have to convert these percentages into actual resistance and reactance value. So really, impedance we can calculate as P square by S. So S means here apparent power. So the voltage is given as 200, So 200 kilovolts. So if you can take 10 power 3 here also, if you square it, here you take the transformer capacity uh, uh, and take MV is 10 power 6. Or without squaring, directly you can take 200 square by 0.1. You will get 4 into 10 power 5 ohms. So this is our base value. Now, if the transformer resistance is 1%, that is 1 by 100. So this 1 by 100 multiplied by this Z base, you will give you the actual resistance. That will be 4 kilo ohms. And reactance, we have 5%. So 5 by 100 multiplied by Z base, that will be 20 kilo ohms. And the capacitance value we can calculate from capacitance means nothing but here impedance, that is V by I. Voltage is 400 kV and current is 0.5 ampere, so it will be 800 kilo ohms. But when the transformer is at resonance, so the XL value should be equal to XC value. So this XL series reactance will have two parts, reactance and the series reactance connected. So total I should have 800 kilo ohms. But from our calculations, we got transformer reactance as 20 kilo ohms. So XL plus 20 kilo ohms is 800 kilo ohms. So XL series will be 800 minus 20, that will be 780 kilo ohms. So from this, we can calculate the inductance value. L series will be XL will be omega L. So L series will be XL by omega. So omega is 2 pi f. So we will get 2484 Henry. Now the resistance. So the resistance, which is transformer resistance, is also 1%. So that will be 4 kilo ohms. So when resonance occurs, the secondary voltage will be only current multiplied by the resistance. So here the series resistance and transformer resistance combinedly it will be 8 kilo ohms. So if we multiply this 8 kilo ohms with the current flowing, that is 0.5 ampere, it will be 4 kilovolts. So how much will be the primary voltage that we have to calculate? So as you know, in the transformer, the ratio of primary voltage by secondary voltage always it will be constant. So suppose if I have a 250 volt in the primary and 200 kV in the secondary, so the same ratio we have to maintain when the secondary voltage is 4. So from this relation, if you calculate, the primary voltage will be 5 volts. Now coming to the seventh question. To test an insulator at high frequency, the primary inductance of Tesla coil L1 is 100 millihenry and primary capacitance C1 is 100 picofarad. Find the test frequency. The secondary L2 is heavy. Find C2. So L1 is 100 millihenry, L2 is 50 millihenry, and C1 is 100 picofarad. We have to calculate the resonant frequency and C2. So resonance frequency, test frequency, 1 by 2 pi root LC. So you can take here L1 C1 or L2 C2. So we have the values of L1 and C1. So we will calculate from L1 C1. So that will be 50.329 kilohertz. Now as you know, L1 C1 ratio should be equal to L2 C2 ratio. So from this we can calculate the C2, that will be 200 picofarads. So this is our sheet 1 solutions. So these are uploaded in our Blackboard lectures. You can download it and you can practice it. And if you have any doubts, you can contact me through course message. Thank you. We will meet Thank you very much for attending this lecture, and we will meet for the second lecture. Second sheet we will solve inshallah.